And good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Wednesday, June 8th, 2022. What a mixed trading day we had today. It went every which way, but basically sideways. And it was wild, it was woolly, and it was not that easy to trade today. We had some great moves, but there were a lot of sudden bursts of energy, both to the upside and the downside. There were longer periods where they were just trying to buy, some of the bigger stocks in the NASDAQ versus selling it out across the board in the broader markets and in the Russell. And so it just presented a very conflicting trading scenario for us today. How am I going to translate that into what I think is going on? Well, we're going to give it our best shot right now. I continue to feel that we remain in the process of trying to finish up a minor wave 2 counter trend correction. That correction is to the upside. It still appears that we have completed waves A and B of this minor 2, and that we started the C wave. And within that C wave, we've done 1 of C and 2 of C, possibly 2 of C. We still might have a little additional downside to complete there. So here's how I got to leave this for today. This is still, that's the A, here's the B. What ended up, I'm thinking that this was probably 1 and we had a 2 here and looking for the 3 to take us higher. And when it did, I was like, oh, great, we're on our way and looking to break there and keep it going. It stopped very quickly prior to the full hour and after the opening, and then just started to decline. We had a big spike higher and then just a strong decline down, and then continued to break down with a upside gasp right there at the end of the day into the close, but nothing spectacular. The Dow, of course, still ended up down almost 270, the S&P down about 42, 43, the NASDAQ ended down close to 100. It's still totally up in the air. But I continue to feel that the trading action definitely tells me we are still in a corrective move. We are not back in trend. And I continue to say that the trend right now is down. And this is a corrective counter trend bounce. And so with that in mind, I still need to emphasize that we are still sitting out there with the alternate view, which would suggest that minor wave 2 completed at 12,945. So once again, we're now in day 3, soon to be day 4 of sideways action, but unable to break back above 12,945, which would give us that signal that the C wave is in progress. We're not getting that. So I have to keep it open. I still believe that is the intent of the market. I still believe that we are still out there on the ledge in terms of what can we expect as we move closer to not only this Friday's expiration, but then next Friday's being that big quarterly monthly expiration, which is now being rumored to be larger than March in terms of the amount of money that will be settled. So with all of that in mind, here's what they did kind of come for today. They kind of came for and they tried to boost up Facebook. They tried to boost up Google. They kind of boosted up Netflix, and they went for Tesla. Apple came in play, but failed and just ended up down on the day, but not by a whole lot. So again, not anything earth shattering today, but the fact that they're trying to move back into Google because of the split coming up, they're trying to move into Facebook because of some news, whatever the situation is, it did provide a lot of choppiness because the broader market, again, the broader New York and then the Russell were consistently hit by selling. So what can we look for tomorrow? It's basically the same scenario, folks. If we start to break down We're now getting a little bit closer. We managed to close above the daily 20 and the daily 8. If I drop it down to the hourly, we're sitting just above. Again, we straddled it, came down, came back above, and now we're coming back down. The hourly 200, which is now at 12,566. Again, a break below kind of should do what we did before, go, but I would suspect that if it breaks again, because it's break one, so it broke once, broke twice, broke 3 times. 4th time's a charm? I don't know. If it comes down and it holds, I'm going to look for it to come back up. I'm going to put the bottom of this small wave 2 right there, right at the low, and then look for it to blast higher. The actual support for the wave 2 is measured out against the retracement in this small first wave would be 12,574. It got down to 79. So whether that was enough, I don't know, but we need to allow for that additional. Now, a break below 12,566 does not necessarily mean that the wait is over and we're just going to drop like a stone. Let me put up this little bit of fib here. So we have actually, sorry, it wasn't 74, it's 12,554. So it has surpassed the 382 50% level on a retracement. And now next up is 618. Wave 2, we already know, most common 50% to 618. So it's still within the range. It's not breaking any rules. It's still holding itself together. And along at 554, we've got at 566, the 200. So again, if it broke the 200 but stopped at 554, not really a break, because we would bounce off of that and get ourselves back above 566 or wherever it ends up pretty quickly. That is my feeling. That's my thought. So I continue to look for this level to hold. But if it breaks there and then again breaks at 521, then of course we've got 12,412 up to play. And a break there starts to lean things in favor of that completing the corrective phase, and we're still going to start dropping. This by no means looks impulsive to me at all. Neither. Maybe that absolute first one looks impulsive, but what it does look like, it's like A, B, C. All right. So, and if anything, maybe this is A, B, C. But that could be A, B, C, and then I could put a wave 2 underneath it. And this is 5 to be wave 1 of C, and then wave 2 of C. So we've got these 2 things in play, and we will continue to. As I will remove this and put the small wave 2, right? If this is going to be, excuse me, wave A, wave B, then this is going to be wave C. If it comes down and breaks, it could be A, I don't know. To tell you the truth, I really wouldn't know what it is right now off the top of my head, but I will figure it out if it comes down and break. So based on this particular count, I am not expecting it to break. I'm expecting the market to kind of hold. If it starts to break, here's the rest of our zones. And if it comes down and starts breaking below that, then we can possibly, in the form of a B wave, come all the way down and get closer to that level. So because we have 382, 236, okay, so now I'm going to put back just the retracements on this move here. And I ask for a little bit of understanding, because I just found out that I have been exposed to COVID. And so that's kind of on my mind. So I apologize for all of that. Let's get through this update nonetheless. So what we continue to look for is that if this is wave A and this is all a part of this B wave coming down, we continue with this could be A and this could be B, and now we're going to come off in a C wave. And that C wave would then suggest that we're going to come down to 12,182 or as low as 12,044 and still be a B wave and still get a C wave up. So we're still on the inside of all this. We're still just kind of flopping around, not getting anywhere quick. So again, an additional inside day, although we broke to a slight new high, but beyond that, inside day into what yesterday's range was. And we are going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. So for right now, I continue to suggest that we follow the moving averages, we follow the bouncing prices, and we trade what's in front of us. So in other words, it's like trade the price action, trade some of the internal fibs, trade against the moving averages. On your lower time frames, those moving averages are directly in play. All of them become in play when you're using a 1, a 2, and a 5-minute chart. They all come into play, and they're very important to keep an eye on because on your short-term picture, they will provide also the same guidance on the moves. All right, I am going to end it there. And the next update will be on Thursday, June the 9th.